Welcome to another episode of OG55. We have Candid Camper in the house with me today. We're talking all about July 17th. It is fast approaching Disneyland's actual 70th anniversary coming up July 17th. Will Disney give us more details on the future of the Disneyland Resort? We've been kind of promised that, but we'll see what they actually give us. It's about, what are we looking at? Like about maybe 6 weeks away now. So we're going to talk about it up next on OG55. Welcome aboard, everybody, to the episode of OG55. Today, I'm joined by the one, the only Mr. Candid Camper, the half of the Bad Thoughts podcast duo, him and Tones. But Candid, welcome back, brother. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Where could everybody find you on social media, sir?
Yep, you can find me Candid Camper over on Instagram, Candid Camper over on TikTok, and then the Candid Camper on YouTube, where I post a lot of videos for movie reviews. And TikTok has just been kind of one of those where whatever is happening in the world, I kind of throw it up there. So check me out on TikTok.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Check him out. Candid's been family here at OG55 for a real long time. Him and his brother Tones, Bad Thoughts. They do amazing work over there. So make sure you subscribe to Candid as well as the podcast and also Bad Thoughts Studio. I'll be linking all that in the description down below, so it'll be easy for everyone to click on it and subscribe. So Candid, today actually a crazy thing happened to me before we dive in. This is wild. I've been recognized, and so is George, like at the parks and stuff. Even Legoland, we cast a team member over there. Came up to me and was like, "Hey, OG." I'm like, "Oh, what's up?" Always a cool time when people recognize you, and it's fun to talk with fans of the channel. Today was the first time though I was at my local mall and I'm walking down the stairs and a guy's going up and he goes, "OG," and I'm like, "Yeah," and we were like shooting the shit for like maybe 10 or 15 minutes, bro. Really cool, man. I've never had that happen outside the parks before. Yeah. And if you're watching, you know who you are. It's really cool seeing you. Anyone that ever sees me out in the wild, just say hello. But yeah, it's crazy, man, because I don't really live that close to the parks, so it's kind of cool.
That's awesome, and that's like that next step in like some weird like life you wouldn't have thought you would live. And then you're like, then you go walk down, I'm like, I'm famous now.
I'm like, what? That's wild to me. So yeah, really nice dude. And I just want to say, I don't want to say his name out there, but I don't know if he wants it out there, but really cool guy and everything. So I just want to say, if you're watching, I appreciate you coming up to me today. It was really cool. Kind of shooting the shit with you for a little bit. But Candid, let's talk about July 17th, right? So we do have some confirmed stuff coming for Disneyland. We got the Richard Sherman missing Small World verse he wrote for the attraction later in life. We did hear that at D23, and he unfortunately passed away about a year ago. So it's a nice little nod that Disney's doing. They're adding his new verse to the attraction for the anniversary. We're also getting that Walt Disney animatronic, which we could talk about that for a little bit as well, because that's kind of a weird situation, or it could be potentially a very awesome situation depending on how well executed it is. But they've also promised, well, in that Lincoln Theater, that little area outside of the actual theater, they're going to give us like a little preview center of what's to come for the Disneyland Resort. So now, what do you think, Candid? I mean, we have a few projects, big ones, on the table. We got Pandora coming to DCA. We can get into that too, because there's a lot to chew on with that. We got Coco boat ride coming to DCA. The Avengers rides. What do you think we're going to see in this little mini preview center? You think it's going to be anything like to write home to mom about, or are they kind of, as our friend Bricky says, tickling our tickling us with Dumbo's feather, teasing us.
So I think it's going to be a mixture of both. I think we're going to get tickled a little bit in not the right spot. I don't think we're going to get anything that's DCA related, especially if they're going to have it in Disneyland.
Interesting.
I think it'll just be whatever the future's holding for Disneyland inside that theater. Because you're talking about like the little where you have like the seats and stuff before you go into the actual theater, right?
Yeah, exactly. That
You
little
have like a
area
little
out there.
coin, you have like a coin machine that used to be there and everything like that.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I don't see them doing that just because I feel like they like to keep things separate from each other. So I wouldn't be surprised if they actually opened up something else over on the DCA side, doing the same thing but showing models and scales of DCA future.
That's interesting, Candid. I never considered that really because if you think about it, you're right though. It's Disneyland's 70th.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, technically
Yep.
DCA is part of Disneyland's history. I get that, but I could see them doing what you're saying, where it's like this is Disneyland's 70th, so we're going to give you what's upcoming for Disneyland Park.
Yeah.
And who knows? They might announce something crazy. I mean, I don't want to get like fans too excited, but maybe Tomorrowland, something fun like that would be awesome, right? But I mean,
That's just a lot of what's that going to look like if they announce Tomorrowland, then Disney Forward and all that other projects. Disney's the slowest moving snail in the race.
yeah.
Every single time. So I'm going to be 75 by the time I even get to ride any of these rides. So I think if we do get anything like that, it'll be a cool little teaser. We just need them to really step on the gas. I mean, Universal built a whole theme park in a couple of years.
It's true. It's true. It's really frustrating. And, you're going to see how fast Disney can build stuff when they're not paying for it with that Abu Dhabi park.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yep.
Believe me, it'll be pedal to the metal 100% because they're not paying for that thing. So it'll break ground. It'll be done probably before a lot of this DCA stuff and all that's completed even,
I agree. Yeah.
Disney loves to stretch those timelines out because what it does is it spreads it thin over multiple fiscal periods. And as a fan, it's frustrating because, like you were saying, we're not getting any younger, bro.
No. And speaking of younger, happy birthday, by the way. Happy belated. If you haven't wished OG 55 happy birthday, his birthday the other day, he turned 87.
Yes, 87, dude. Drink your Brome broth, kids. You look younger. Absolutely doing pretty good for 87. Yeah, no, I appreciate that, Ken. I do appreciate that. But so in terms of Disneyland, what do you think before we dive into the DCA stuff? Because DCA has all kinds of stuff coming. It was mostly, as far as we know, it's mostly a DCA heavy kind of future in terms of new attractions and stuff, at least based on what we heard at D23. But in terms of Disneyland, we do know we are getting that Walt Disney animatronic. And I don't think you and I haven't really talked about that. What are your thoughts on that, man? Because, I mean, this could go, look, Walt Disney, he made a Lincoln animatronic because Lincoln was his hero.
Yeah.
So Walt is our hero. So, okay, we're going to do a Walt animatronic. But this is the man who founded the company. There's so much history behind this man in terms of the Walt Disney Company, but in terms of like the park itself. Is this a risky move by Disney? Can they stick the landing, or is this kind of a tall order?
I think it depends on what he's going to do, because my thing is he going to give us the opening day speech? Are they going to be able to adjust them throughout periods? So say half the year he's going to talk about something, the next part of the year he's going to be able to talk about something, or is it going to be the same script over and over again? Also, what age are you going to make them? Like, that's another thing. Like, what time frame is this Walt? Is it going to be young Walt when he first had this imagination of Disneyland, or even Walt before that when he was creating the films? Or is he going to be old cigarette smoking Walt?
Yeah, it seems like he's going to be based on the concept art, which again, concept art isn't like set in stone. They can always alter things. Based on the art, it looks like it's the Uncle Walt Wonderful World of like the TV Walt that we see, like introducing the shows and all that. So older Walt,
Okay. And I'm okay with that. I think that it has to be executed right. People are going to still show up to see him. This has to be the most advanced animatronic that we see. They can't go cheap on this animatronic. It has to be at least just, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like what's the auctioneer? Like if we get something like the auctioneer, I still feel like the auctioneer is still like kind of showing its age a little bit. So we need something a little bit newer than that. Maybe the female, what was her name? I can't remember her name off the top of my head.
The redhead in Pirates.
Yeah. I think that's a good kind of where to start. But I mean, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna have him sitting down? Are we gonna have him standing up like Lincoln does? Lincoln was pretty impressive, dude.
Yeah, no, he is. Yeah, he is. And the thing too with Walt is like the great thing about Walt that I love is that we're not getting. This is really important, actually, and I think the family expressed concerns about this because now with all this AI shit, it's
Yeah.
everywhere. They were concerned that we were actually going to have what's the word for it? Like AI script
Oh,
and
okay.
having him say things like, have a magical day and shit like that, right? But
Yeah.
it turns out we're not getting that. They're
Good.
actually taking audio from Walt and they're utilizing it for this attraction. So that's cool. That's cool. Now
Yeah.
George
Like,
brought up a great point where it's like hopefully they can kind of de-static it because
yeah.
anything from like the 1960s or whatever 1950s has a little bit of static where it kind of sounds a little bit like you can tell it's old. Hopefully
Yep.
they can kind of remove all that, which I'm sure they will be able to, where it actually sounds like it's a voice and not just like a recording coming out of an animatronic.
Yeah.
But we'll
Yeah.
see.
And that makes a difference too, because like if it's you don't want that separation. You want to be immersed still. And if they can remaster that track or like that would be awesome. I think you're right. I'm glad that it's not going to be AI because that's not what people are trying to get from Walt. I think it's going to cause a lot of feelings too, which is going to be kind of crazy to have. Like, when you walk out of somewhere, you kind of want to have that fun joy feeling. And I don't know how people are going to react walking out of there. It's going to be sad. It's going to be happy. Like it's going to be kind of a weird feeling.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point because it's like this is a man who died a long time ago, 1966. As Disney fans, we have a deep connection to the man and his work. It's a bittersweet kind of thing, right? Like to see that
Yeah.
guy up there and like doing his thing. It's like, like, yeah, it's cool. But like if they stick the landing, I'm assuming they're going to stick the landing, but it's cool to see him up there talking and stuff. But man, that could be a really emotionally charged thing for a lot of people.
Well, even the Mr. Lincoln or the great moments with Mr. Lincoln, that's hard one too.
Yeah.
Especially being an American, like you're in there and he starts going over a lot of different things. Like, oh shoot, this really hits you kind of.
It,
So
it does. It does.
yeah,
And Disney has some competition, man. Like, me, I'm a Disney guy, but Universal has been crushing it lately. And a lot of those animatronics that we've been seeing over at Universal, like for Epic Universe for the Monsters Unchained ride,
oh
are
dude,
really good, bro.
yeah. That's I can't, that Frankenstein is wild.
It's wild, dude. So, I mean, I'm hoping that, and from what I'm hearing too, I haven't seen any POVs on the Harry Potter attraction, the Ministry ride, but I heard those are even better.
Really?
Yeah, like our buddy Jared from Capture the Magic and Slimer was saying like it was like real people. Like when you're going through, you can barely tell they're even animatronics.
That's
Like
crazy, dude.
it's crazy. So Disney, I mean, for a Walt Disney animatronic, they better hit a home run. This thing
Yeah.
better look like him. The movement better be fluid. You can't be having this guy like glitching and malfunctioning on stage. That's a bad look, So we'll see how it all shakes out. Are you excited for it, or are you? I know you're a big Disney fan, but are you like into it, like where that would be something that would even interest you, or are you more of like I'm here for
So
the fun factor, have fun with my kids. I'm not really worried about like the nerdy Walt stuff.
So I'm a ride kind of person. So I love getting on rides. I will marathon the shit out of Pirates. So like I will fly through everything. But by day 3, I like to slow it down and kind of start doing the shows and eat and people watch. So I'm a mixture of everything. I would say I was something like this. I would go see it a few times, but I'm more intrigued by the animatronic itself and how it moves and just the roots of it all. So that's kind of more of my style. The whole Walt thing is I love Walt. I love what he's done for everything. And I feel like we have a lot of Walt now, especially with Disney Plus and a lot of the different shows that they put out. They
True.
like kind of put a lot of him in it. And I think we're good because how much of the stuff are they going to remaster that they've already shown on there too, that they're going to put here?
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, yes, I'm excited for it. Me personally, am I going to drag my kids to it? That's the other question. Probably not. My kids aren't going to want
Yeah.
to sit there and watch that. They're going to be like, dude, who's this old guy on stage? Why is grandpa up there? Like,
Right.
and then I have to explain to him. So they have to. It can't just be him talking to the crowd. There has to be some kind of big elaborate show or just something that's going to really bring it to life for the kids who want to sit there and watch.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah, because all the Disney adults will be there. All the Disney diehards, like
But
like
how many
as well.
times are they going to watch it though?
But yeah, that's a good point. After the 17th, and after this summer, even after you've seen it half a dozen times or even a dozen times. Do you want to sit through that again? How many times have us as diehard fans, watched the Lincoln Show? I mean, that thing is
I was
always
gonna say like twice.
yeah. I mean, it's a beautiful show. I mean, I don't want them to get rid of it, but it's like, even if we're not even watching it, I mean, the normies definitely aren't really lining up for that. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. It's really crazy. So we got that. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I
Oh,
was gonna say real quick, like the thing is though, you can't put anything else there. If you put something
right.
else there, it's just gonna get too crowded. So it's almost like that weird happy medium of we have another attraction and it eats up X amount of people every day. But they don't like if you walked by it, you wouldn't know it's there. That's the other side of it.
True.
So they need better marketing for it, but also need to be able to keep it so that it doesn't get packed and have a whole bunch of people trying to line up on that main area.
Yeah, that's another thing. If it's massively popular, and I think it will be at least for that day and probably for the short term, I think that theater is not designed for that kind of crowds, and you have Mickey and Minnie always meeting out front of that theater. So like, where do you put all these people if it's a huge hit? So great point, Candid. Like, what do you do with everybody? Another big offering for the 70th is Richard Sherman, who we unfortunately lost about a year ago. Part of the Sherman Brothers legendary duo, right? Huge part of Disney history, but he passed away about a year ago. And at D23, when we were there this past August, they played at the tribute panel. They played a kind of like a lost verse that Richard wrote for Small World. And Disney's actually adding that lost verse into the attraction, and it will premiere on July 17th. Now, we don't really know if this is a permanent thing. I don't think it will be. And there's also logistical issues with that, right? Like, how do you weave another verse into this attraction? Is it going to be something that maybe they just have his last verse in the finale room and it just plays his verse in the finale? Or is it going to be weaved into the entire thing to kind of go through the whole thing? I don't really know, but what are your thoughts on that? I mean, do you like the idea? Number one. Number two, is it something that like you think they even should be doing, or logistically, how can they do it? What do you think, Ken?
Yeah, and it's always interesting that they do stuff like this because you could talk to a lot of people and they probably wouldn't be able to tell you any Sherman stuff. You know what I mean? Until you tell them, like, was it Mary Poppins and stuff like that. So they'll be, oh, okay, that's cool. So who are they doing this for? Who is Disney doing this for? And the people that never been to Disneyland, they're not going to know the verses in there. And then the people that have gone to Disneyland multiple times, if it's added in there at one spot at the end, like I'm going to ride 15-minute ride just to hear that one verse, it's already rough enough to go on Small World for me. So let me rephrase that. I'm excited for it, yes, because it's something new. The normal people, they're not going to know the difference between it. So I think this is being done for maybe the people that are like you that go and are searching for something like that. Yeah. Same thing with the Walt animatronic. So yeah, they're putting a lot of money into weird spots, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Like for like our little, like myself and like the people that are in like this diehard Disney nerd bubble. Yeah, this stuff is great. We're eating good, right? But like the thing is like the normies though. You're right though. We always talk about that here on the channel. That there's a normie diehard fanatic gap. Like, is a soccer mom with like 2 kids, is she gonna give a shit about the lost Richard Sherman Small World verse? Probably not. She's not running to Disneyland to take her kids to see that or hear that. Same with the Walt thing, and it's funny to me because it's weird to me because Disney's like this big multinational conglomerate, and it's weird. It's kind of crazy almost how much money, you're right, how much the money they are spending on the niche, like the diehards, and let's say, I mean, obviously they're privy to the data, and maybe the diehards are they spend a shit ton, and even though we're a small number, maybe they feel like that nostalgia for this little corner of their market is really just making them a lot of money. But it is kind of interesting though. You bring up a great point, Ken, where it's like, I mean, the normies, I don't think this resonates with them. And like you were saying, like, are you really going to drag your kid to go watch the Walt thing? No. How old's your kid? I think it was 6.
6. Yep.
6. Yep. Yeah. 6-year-old's not going to care about the Walt thing.
No. Nope. So, and even with Small World in general, I have my feelings about it. I know it's kind of one of those where I feel like there's some, not anymore, but I feel like there's some kind of untouchable list, and that ride is on that untouchable list, no matter how big. God, just imagine if they had that space and
Oh
going
yeah.
all the way into the back, and then being able to link up with Autopia and just even the submarines, Nemo. Like they
Oh,
just had
dude.
all, dude. Like, right? We wouldn't need another gate.
No, no, it's huge between Small World and all that, and you, like what you're saying, linking up, like because you have that, but that also like like kind of dovetails into like the old motorboat cruise area, and then into like the Utopia, and even if you want to get really crazy, even like the submarine voyage area,
Yep.
that whole if you took Small World and all of that, dude, that's a massive amount of land. But you're right though, Small World is untouchable. It's not even like a Disneyland treasure at this point. Small World is like a national treasure.
Yeah, and I'm okay with
You
that.
know?
I just wish they put a little more love to it, because going to Disney World and seeing their version and just how the upkeep is a little bit better than ours. And like if you look at our Disneyland one, the roof is all fucking gross, and it's just all dirty. I don't know. I just wish there was a little bit more to it, even though I know it's like puppets, but they can
Yeah.
just do more, because they go in there and they put new puppets in all the time, like Stitch and all that. I think that's really cool, but I
Yeah.
feel like we could just do something a little bit more to it.
Well, and that was one of my big issues for a long time too. I made a lot of videos back in the day about that, where I think because we have the holiday stuff
Mm-hmm.
where they're going in there and they're like staple gunning like Christmas lights on the facade every year.
Yep.
It messes up the facade, and then it's like the constant like putting that shit up and taking it down and putting it up and taking it down. I think it does a lot of wear and tear and damage to the
Yeah.
attraction,
Yep.
and it's probably difficult to maintain. Now, I mean, the holiday thing is beautiful,
Yeah.
but I mean, I think it does really wear the attraction out. I mean, Disney probably should put a little more money towards, kind of upkeeping that and stuff. Now I want to go across the way to DCA, because DCA is really where all the new shit's coming, because we got the 2 Avengers rides, we got the Avatar thing coming, and then we got the Coco boat ride.
Yeah.
Now you don't think that we talked about at the top of the show, but you don't think that any of this stuff, because of DCA, will necessarily be in that preview center.
I don't think so. I think they're going to really try to keep them separate, because they like to keep both parks to themselves. There's really not too much that goes on with each other, or like are combined.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. Now, this Avatar thing, I've had you on the show before with this, but it's been a really long time. But this is some of the artwork that they showed us at D23. We got the crazy rock work, the crazy like onion blossom thing here.
Okay, now I remember talking about this now. Okay, I was kind of thinking, I'm like, dude, I don't remember them actually confirming this, and that looks pretty confirmed to me, except for all the ocean behind it. I don't know how we're gonna get that, but
yeah, no, exactly. Gonna have a hard time putting that in DCA. But where in the world, and this has been the $1 million question here on OGVD 5. We've been talking about this so much, but it's like it's a big thing. I mean, this thing looks really grand and spectacular. Where do you think Canada? Where are they going to put this in DCA? Considering the current park. Now, also remember, we also have the Simba lot to work with as well now. Yep. Where do you think it's going to go?
And you bring up the Simba lot thing, kind of makes a lot of sense, but that kind of scratches off some of the other future Fantasyland stuff I think they want to do, because this is going to take up a lot of space. The other part, I think, and I don't like this idea, but it's the Monsters Inc., like the courtyard over there. But that sightline from the back, like that's going to be horrible walking up to the park. And the size of this, like how tall is this going to be? Because we still can only reach a certain height before they have to throw a little light on top, right? And I doubt Disney's still going to be able to want to do that, because Matterhorn, for instance, they went like an inch underneath the flight line. I just think it's dude, it looks massive.
Yeah.
Is this gonna be another Star Wars where we have one ride and ride and a half, and then you have this open land for nothing?
Well, apparently we're getting 2 rides eventually, but right now it's going to open only with 1 ride. But that's the concept art here. I can show you this boat ride, which will have a similar ride technology to like the Shanghai Pirates, where the boat is kind of like it can kind of maneuver around. It's a little different, and there's screens, and you look like you're going underwater, coming back up. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, I mean, like this thing is so massive, and I've been talking a lot hear on the channel about it. Like, okay, so they can do what you were saying. They can put it over there and replace Hollywood Land or a huge chunk of Hollywood Land. Because we have, like you were saying, that whole Monsters Courtyard, and even behind that now they have that bus load unload area, which is like another like probably 5 acres ish. Probably do it there. But then if you put it there, how do you justify it? Like, how do you go from like Hollywood Boulevard and then you make a left and you're in this fucking alien planet? That's another weird thing, right?
Yep. Yep. And see, I think I told you guys this before. I hate the concept of them trying to put anything else but Avengers over in that backstage area. I think that whole backstage area should all be Avengers. I want that whole Hollywood land to be Avengers. I think that's from the start of Buena Vista Street, or when it turns in, that whole area past stage 17 all the way up to the tower. That should all be all Marvel.
Well, Marvel makes sense. Yeah, it'd be kind of cool. Like, we have a friend of the channel, Theme Park Casual, who had a great idea where you can kind of convert, you can make Hollywood Land or even part of Hollywood Land like 1940s Hollywood, which would go great with Buena Vista Street, which is like 20s, 30s. But if you make a 1940s Hollywood Land, you can do a dope Captain America attraction in there.
Yeah, that'd be sick. Yep.
And that was Casual's idea, and I'm like, yeah, man, that's cool, dude. I don't see them doing that, unfortunately. I see them trying to shoehorn this Avatar thing in there. Now here, one thing to be fair to Disney though, too, this land is based on the next like 2 or 3 movies that nobody has seen. There could be some California, and I've said this before, but like there could be some kind of California Earth connection in these upcoming movies that we're not aware of yet. To be fair, do I think that's the case? I don't think so, but it is possible because this is Cameron is very secretive with these movies, and we just don't know.
So, your thoughts on this idea? We're only getting one ride because they need time to turn Soarin' into some kind of banshee flying device. So this can go in Grizzly Peak.
Okay, so Grizzly Peak, the reason why I'm kind of against that idea, because you're not the first. You're like, this has been brought up a lot. A lot of people actually are kind of want this to happen. My only issue with that is that DCA has so many trouble spots already, like Hollywood Land, even like areas of like Pixar Pier, which like are not up to Disney quality.
Yeah,
Grizzly is like one of the few areas that actually is good.
It's beautiful.
It's gorgeous. So you're kind of like, you're not really adding to the park because you're just replacing good with good.
Yeah,
that's my only issue with that one. But what say you? What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's fair, dude. I love walking through Grizzly Peak, especially at night. Like, it's just when it's a beautiful summer day in California. That's like you're in the woods, dude. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So I agree with that statement. I just think it would fit well looking at concept art, but even in general, like, yeah, no, I get what you're saying. And the other side of it too would also be the hotel. Like, what would you do with the hotel at that point? You'd have to theme an Avatar or figure it out somehow. But I just, those are the only spots I can really think of. Like I said, either the new lot that they're opening up or that backside where the Mad Tea Party used to be.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then that's in park. If they want to do outside the park, they could technically put it in the Symbol lot. But here's the problem with the Symbol lot. You have to build a pedestrian bridge from DCA over Disneyland Drive to get to that Symbol lot. Similar to what they do for downtown Disney. You go over that bridge. You don't even really realize it, but you go over a bridge, and it basically starts where like the Jazz Kitchen is and ends where the Lego store is. And that's a whole bridge. But you'd have to do something similar at DCA to go from DCA to this new area on the Symbol lot. So that's a lot of infrastructure. Are they going to do that? I don't know. I mean, we'll see.
How many acres is it?
Well, the Symbol lot, we got like 25 or 30. So they can do multiple things over there.
Yeah. Yep. And I just can't see that. I can't see them putting that much money into something like this to have to build a bridge, have to take down that whole parking lot, because it just doesn't make sense for me to want to do that. And just for Avatar, like, it would have to be multiple stuff. That Disneyland Forward stuff really would have to just kick in. They would have to go full force, because what are you gonna do? You're just gonna have them walk over this path and then have a construction sign forever, but just Avatar's over there. and it's going to get bottlenecked too. It's not going to work.
That's a good point. I never thought about that. You're right. Because okay, let's just say, like, yeah, hypothetical. They put Avatar, like you were saying, over there in the symbol lot, but that's like phase one, and that's all they have is Avatar over there. You're right. Now you have a huge bottleneck because you got this pedestrian bridge going over Disneyland Drive, emptying out into Pandora, but it doesn't go anywhere else.
And what would that land? It would have to be a land too, because you're not just going to put us. So this is the other side. You get over the bridge. Now you have this giant square of land, right?
Right.
You have to either have it cut off, split off into two different ways. One set of land over there, and then you have your Avatar on one side, and then something maybe at the end. You can't just have an Avatar piece sitting there and then try to add on it. It's not like it's Epcot where you can just have everything connect. It's not going to work. Yeah. So they have to have a plan for that. That's why I think I'm a little on the no side for that one.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's a great point. I mean, do you think, because this is it? Look, I mean, like I said, we don't know the storyline for the next 3 movies, which this land is based on. I'm assuming there's not a California thing in these movies, though. I'm just assuming there's not. Not impossible, but probably not. Do you think that this is a signal, though, that Disney, if they're willing to put Pandora in this park, that Disney's trying to move away from this California theme? Like we'll actually get like an official like renaming, like Disney Cinematic Adventure or something along those lines? Or are they going to keep it California and say, fuck it, we're going to put anything we want in it anyway? It doesn't matter.
If they call it Cinematic Adventure, they're going to need more than just Grizzly Peak and like those. There's no rides that have IPs. Like there's only so many IPs in that park for them to say like it's something bigger than what it is. Like Epic Universe comes in with some epic shit, you know what I mean? So right. For them to change that name, they would have to do something really magical, and I think Avatar would be the step to do that. But what do you do with all the California theming at that point? Do you retheme all that too, or do you keep it?
Right, that's a tough spot. Yeah, because you can do the cinematic adventure thing. Great, cool. You can add Pandora, but now, like you said, now what do you do with Soarin'?
Yep.
Now you gotta add IP to that. You know, what do you do with the whole Grizzly area? There's not a whole lot. That's not really IP themed. It's tough, man. It's a tough call, you know? So we'll kind of see how that all shakes out. But we have another big ride coming over there to DCA, which is Coco, which is a boat ride. And that's going to be pretty dope. Now, this one's a little easier, I think, because this is not a whole land. This is just a boat ride. Mm-hmm. Couple options. I mean, it can go in the Monsters Courtyard, too. I mean, if they really want to, they can build a little Mexican courtyard and build the attraction where Monsters is if they wanted to. That would definitely fit. Because you can go down like Hollywood Boulevard, and then you can go like they can make like Olvera Street, make a left on Olvera Street, and then you go into like this Mexican courtyard with the Coco boat ride. That could kind of work. Or it can go where Pixar Pier is. There's a lot of room behind the Incredicoaster that they can put it in there. A lot of people are advocating for that because it's Pixar. We can put the boat ride there. But what do you think? Where do you think it's going to go?
So I actually like where they do the Coco dancing and all the food now. So you know where the Maliboomer used to be, like the Malibu, kind of at the end, the tail end of right before you get to the food. Yeah, right before you get to the food, like food court. There used to be like the Maliboomer. There's a whole bunch of trees there. That's a really good spot for it. I think it could be themed very well. We could put like a Mexican restaurant back there too. And it's just not overly crowded and it's easy to get to. I think if you put it on the other side of the pier, so how much room is next to like Cars Land? There's not too much room right there, right, for that transition?
No, nothing over there on that side. No, you'd have to do it on the other side.
Okay. Yeah, that's the only spot I could really think of besides them putting it over. But see, I think it'll just be odd for them to have Pixar on the other side when you have a Pixar pier. That just wouldn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and you're right. They do have a heavy Coco presence right there with that Paradise Garden Grill area.
That's what it's called. Yeah, yeah. I think that's really cool. And what's in there now? Just like pizza? I don't think it's anything crazy.
No, it's pizza, the Boardwalk Pizza, and then I think the other place is like the Paradise Grill is like man, I haven't eaten there in a while, but I think it's like Mediterranean food if I'm not mistaken. Still.
Yeah.
So
I think they can just bulldoze all that shit and just put something back there, and there's room behind there. So
yeah, no, that would be cool. That's kind of where I'm hoping it goes, you know, because you can build like the boat ride, and you can build you can get rid of a lot of these like kind of like off the shelf shit like the the Zephyr and the Goofy Sky School, which is Tone's favorite ride, right? The Goofy Sky School and all that stuff. Get rid of all of that and really give us a Disney Latin Coco area.
So, do you think they would get rid of those rides though? 'Cause, I mean, those still eat some people up.
They might because from what I'm hearing, the boat ride is going to be like a Pirates of the Caribbean style boat ride, which is going to have good capacity. If they crunch those numbers and they're still doing the same capacity with the one ride, they might be willing to cut those others. But it's anyone's guess,
Yeah.
I'm not really sure, I mean, I'd hate to lose the Corn Dog Castle because it has some bomb corn dogs though. Have you had those over there?
I'm gluten free, so no, but I love me a corn dog.
Oh, they're amazing, dude. Absolutely amazing.
Good. Yeah. I remember back in the day they had the McDonald's fries over there, right? And the burger joint.
Yeah.
What was that? It was like some space theme.
Yeah, Burger Invasion.
That's it. Yep.
And it was like a giant burger. I don't know, this might be maybe before your time, but back in the day, like in the mid 90s, in Frontierland across from Big Thunder, they had a McDonald's fry cart.
I do remember that. Yep. And then one on the other side too, over where the by Haunted Mansion.
Yes.
There's one over there too. Yeah.
Yep.
Best fries ever created.
Yeah. No, absolutely. No, McDonald's fries are great. I'm surprised they haven't tried to put like an In-N-Out of some kind in DCA, because that's like that's like how more California can you get?
And not only that too, it's the healthiest option for fast food too. So it wouldn't go against any of their weird feelings that they have.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%.
Even though they feed us like fucking green churros and shit, but it's cool.
Yeah. Whatever. Are you into that stuff? I don't get into like the specialty foods at all.
No. Like I don't like, I love planning out. I have to kind of plan out what I'm going to eat just because of my reasons. But in general, like I don't get excited for some different kind of churro or a special donut that has Tigger print on it. Like I just want to eat it. I want it to taste good.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way, brother. I'm the same way. We're terrible Disney adults because, yeah, exactly. Because a lot of these fans are all about that. I'm like, I could care less about that. Yeah. We actually had a cool guy on the channel the other day, Park Hop Nation, and he was talking about, this is actually something that actually sounds pretty good. Now you're gluten free, so you probably couldn't do it, but it's like he was saying it's like a corn dog, and they put like French fries in there with like melted cheese and stuff. I'm like, that sounds crazy. Inside the corn dog, yeah.
I'd fuck with that.
Oh, me too, dude. In a heartbeat, bro. I'm like, that sounds so good. I'm like, okay, that's awesome,
French fries, corn dog, and cheese. We're good.
Yeah, I guess it's for like the 70th. Now that's the kind of thing, like, I don't care what it looks like. That sounds freaking amazing.
Yeah, no, I like that too. And that kind of brings up like something real quick too, like Casey's Corner. It's been bothering me a little bit. Do you ever see that going away? And then us get like that whole little area, because the restaurant right next to it, I can't remember the name for life of me.
Carnation?
Yeah, no, not Carnation. The other one.
Plaza Inn?
Is it Plaza?
Across the way?
So there's Carnation's Inn. Okay.
So you have Coke Corner. It's on Main Street, right? Disneyland?
Yeah. What's the one where they have the little triangle, or the bobsleds? Not bobsleds, but like little Matterhorn cookies.
Oh yeah. Jolly Holiday.
Jolly Holiday. There you go. Because I feel like Jolly Holiday is always so packed on that corner, and they get so much business, and it's just this little ass place. Do you ever see them just like kind of expanding out and taking over Casey's Corner? And I'm only saying that because of the hot dog reason.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's possible. The only reason I say no, probably not, is just because the history and the fans would go nuts.
Yeah, I mean, baseball themed, and not only that too. You're selling people $30 hot dogs, which costs like a fucking penny to make. It's pretty wild. And Coke, I think, pays for everything too, right?
Yeah, it's sponsored. Yeah, that like Coke Corner is sponsored. Yeah. It's wild. And Coke has been the sponsor for the parks for a real long time. I think it might even be. No, not from the beginning. I think it was Pepsi at one point, if I'm not mistaken. But it's been a long time with Coke, though. Decades, at least.
Yeah.
So it's wild. Yeah. Now, are you planning? You're not planning on going on July 17th, are you? Are you possibly?
No.
Okay.
No. July, too hot, man. I can't do it. I'm getting old. Yeah. The heat, like today, it's 102 out here, or 103. Yeah. Nope. I'm good.
And you're in the like the Bay Area, right?
Yeah, near the Bay Area. So I'm near Sacramento. So we get that weird heat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
can't
been
do it.
hot out here too in the valley, bro. Like it's been probably about 90s, close to 100. It's crazy. It's
Yep.
getting hot out there. I don't know. I mean, it's better than Florida because you get
Yeah,
the stupid humidity, out there. But
yeah. I don't. I'm Florida heat is just a different animal. You're not used to it. And like I feel like you have to live there for years to just be able to get like acclimated to that kind of weather. It's just bipolar.
yeah. Oh, it is. Yeah, it's like super hot, and then it just rains like randomly at like 2 in the afternoon, and then it stops, and then it's sunny and hot again. And the humidity is just like you're just sweating and like you're sticky all freaking day long. And it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, so the Florida heat, but not even that. Like just trying to get my kids in July down to Disney Park. It's just we've done that once back in the day with just my wife and I, and it was miserable trying to navigate through there, especially with schools starting to get out too, and it's just not worth it for us. We like to if we're gonna go like in a busy time, we'll save our time for like October or winter.
Yeah. No, I feel you.
At least get something like a Halloween in or Christmas time in.
Now, have you ever been though, like on July 17th, like the actual birthday?
I have not, no, but it would be cool.
Okay.
I would do it just by myself.
Yeah, it's an interesting experience. Like a lot of times, most of the time, like in the afternoon, sometime they'll play like Walt's opening day speech over the intercom over the parks, and sometimes they give out like little buttons and stuff. It's again, it plays to the diehards
Yeah,
big time,
yep.
But it's an interesting thing. I mean, definitely. I mean, you're coming from way up north though, so I get it. Like it's not easy to come down for that kind of stuff.
If I lived closer, then yeah, I would do it. You know, it'd be like a normal thing.
Yeah,
Sure.
100%.
But having to drag the kids down there, and then how packed is it normally for something like this?
Yeah, it's packed because you get all the Magic Key people who are like all obsessed, and it
Yep.
gets busy, dude.
Yep. And those Magic Key people, you know who you are.
Yeah,
You know the life you live, brother. Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Ride or die, like the Italiano, right, dude? It's like
that guy scares me. I swear, one day, like I'm watching the channel, and he's like, "Oh, I'm in fucking Florida," and then next day he's back in California, and then he's like in some other state, and I'm like, "How the hell are you getting? Like, how does he have that? Like, how's he getting there so fast? How are you eating? Like, how are you in Disney World again? Like, you were just, I swear, I just saw you in California." But I love it. He's doing some magical stuff over there too on his channel. I'm just digging everything lately.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. And we do this like thing over there with like the bar chats, and those things are freaking fun. If we all ever hang out, dude, soon, like we should definitely do a bar chat together because those are fun, man. We get like we'll just have a couple beers and we'll talk parks. It's a
We'll
great
make it
time.
work. We gotta put some things into place. Kids are getting older, so life's gonna be easier once they start getting at a better age. So
yeah, 100%.
Start leaving them by themselves. My mom,
Absolutely. So, all right, we're gonna close it out. But yeah, so pretty much you feel like this is gonna be a very Disneyland centric kind of July 17th. Not a lot of DCA announcements. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see what they do. It'll be interesting. I'm trying not to get my hopes up too much because Disney does have a tendency to sort of drop the ball with a lot of this kind of stuff. I mean, occasionally they'll come through, but for the most part, I kind of get myself super excited, and then the thing happens, and it's like there's nothing. Nothing is announced. I'm like, okay, we'll see. So
I can see them doing that because they've done that so many times. We're getting 2 of them, and then it's like, cool. We're also having expansions to 2. No, we're not. So I mean, Disney, they just promise a lot of bullshit sometimes, and we just got to kind of see through it. But if we're getting concept art for things and they're building an actual replica of all this stuff, pretty sure we're gonna get it. It's just when. And where. And Disney does such a great job at keeping that secret. And my whole thing is how come we can't find any like what they call it, like land development papers or anything like that? Why is that
like permit?
How's that so secret right now? It's just really them in their minds not like telling anybody anything. Or this could not even really be real. It could just be concept art still. They're just trying to fill our heads with something.
Well, it's crazy to me because the Avengers is happening because like they are actually building that. That's actually being done right now. We can see it, but the Avatar and the Coco stuff is really weird because that was announced. Those 2 things were officially announced at D23, which is coming up on a year ago now.
Yeah.
and there's no word, like you were saying, no permits, no nothing. Like, do they not know where these things are going? Like, and that kind of worries me because when you think about it, Josh wants to be the next CEO.
Yep.
So he's going to get up there at the D23 stage because he knows his job depends on it, right?
Yep.
And he's going to announce everything under the sun. He's going to throw the kitchen sink at you, you know? But then he's like, okay, now you guys figure out where we're going to put this shit, right? It's like, I can see that happening. And that worries me because we're almost a year out and we don't have no idea still. So,
and he wants that legacy, right? Like any CEO wants to have a legacy that's there. And my thing is he's running out of space.
Yeah.
And then the next CEO after them, like, what are you going to do when you don't have this space? And I hope I still say that they needed to get Garden Walk and they should have got the Anaheim Stadium. Like that would just been genius to do and build all these bridges and shit. It would have been fine. Build me a new monorail. Like it would have been okay.
Yeah.
It would have been fine.
Like a fucking crisscrossing people mover and all that shit. It'd be dope, dude.
Give me a fucking people mover. That's all we want. We don't need Avatar.
There we go. Exactly. You heard the man, Josh. Come on, let's give us a people mover. We've been waiting for that for like freaking 30 years now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yep. It's crazy. Our buddy, I was thinking about the other day. It's like the people mover has been gone as long as Theme Park Wizard has been alive.
Oh, shit.
like oh, crap, dude. This is crazy. Do something with it. Either bring it back or take the track down, you know?
Yeah, Rocket Rods, we got this.
Yeah, absolutely. Come on, Rocket Rods. But Candid, always a pleasure, always an honor having you on the show. Brother, if you could remind everybody where they can find you on social media, sir.
Yes, sir. So thank you again for having me on. I appreciate it. It was one of those where, hey, we're doing this Saturday. I'm like, I'm in. Let's go. What's the topic? You'll find out. Awesome.
There we go.
I love it. But no, thank you again for having me on. And you can find me over at the Candy Camper over on Instagram, Candy Camper over on TikTok. I'm on the road to 500 over there, so I'm almost there. And then we are also on YouTube, the Candy Camper, and then Bad Thoughts Podcast, Candy Camper with Tones.
There he is. There he is. I'll link everything down below. Make sure you follow, subscribe. Candid and Tones, our family here on OG55. We love these guys. Check out some of the shows from Bad Thoughts Podcast, man. Back in the day, dude. We got wild back then, dude.
Oh man.
Those are in trouble. Those are the days. Those are the days.
I hope Abby doesn't go back and watch any of those.
Oh man, that's hopefully. Yeah, well, there are other crews. She won't know. They have no internet.
They're the fucking crews now. See what I mean?
There they are. Exactly. Thank you all so much for watching this episode of OG55, and until the next time.
Thank you for watching OG55. If you aren't already, consider becoming a member today.